So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another solutions for another type of problems that we face in our day-to-day lives, and obviously it is with the focus mainly in particular, so in this channel is by using a lot of mental models that you can take for all the type of fields that exist in the world, in science, in the field of economics, psychology, whatever is the field, you all can take learnings, patterns that you, by taking from them, you can as well apply as as like machines that create solutions for other type of problems in other type of fields. And then so it is in a non-technical way to see it, because I'm not someone that has all the studies that so are needed to solve a problem of this magnitude, but it's helpful for you to understand the logic, the senses of the action that the people they create is a lot based in these mental models. And then so today is the global human conflict crisis. So what do we have? We have 2 billion people that live in conflicted or affected areas. We have economic tool with that. We have around 14 trillions dollars year lost, and it's like it amounts for 12% of total GDP lost to war, crime, and unrest. And also we have to understand the root causes, and then so how to fight them. And then we have resource scarcity, identity polarization, historical trauma, misinformation ecosystems, and power vacuums. But then what are like the models, the solutions that are so the ones that are useful to look and solve these problems. So what do we have? We have first the Treaty of Commons, and the Treaty of Commons explains a lot of the main type of conflict that exists today. So what do you have? The idea is that competition over shared resources, water, land, is what tends to ignite violence. So scarcity tends to breed war, and then so people fight for these shared resources. Then they want to be as their individual property. But then no, that you can fix it by knowing this tendency to do the competition by the sources that are scarce, the resources that are scarce, create this war. So what you can do? We have resource co-ops. We have example of the Jordan-Israel joint in solar desalination plants has made water conflicts reduced 80% in border regions. And we have the peace parks, the Africa's Kavango Zambezi Transfrontier Park, Five Nations, has made poaching and warfare decrease by 90%. So, examples, initiatives, so the type of connections that can be done in the exploration of economical activity instead of them so fighting for something that's scarce. Why not create more in them, so them being able to get more than they will probably even get if they kind of get and be the winner of the scarce resources. So we have another type of thing is the mimetic theory, so conflict as contagion. So what's the idea? Violence spreads through social limitation, and then by knowing that we have to create ways to this not happen. So we have empathy vaccines, the Rwanda's Ubuntu VR experience swap perspectives made the intergroup 8 reduced 65%. And we have the role model flooding, the Nigeria's media law mandates 50% airtime for peace builders, made recruitment made recruitment by extremists reduced by 40%. 3. We have the Cobra effect. Interventions, they can backfire. So what's the idea? Sanctions, peacekeeping often enrich conflicts. And then what are the fixes by knowing that? We have the peace dividends. Colombia pays XFRRC fighters to build schools, has made the recidivism reduce 75%. And algorithmic ceasefires, the series artificial intelligence predicts flashpoints, has made the triggers 8 drops before violence erupts. So a smart use of artificial intelligence. 4. Secondary thinking, hidden conflict drivers. What's the idea? Climate change tends to create famine. Famine tends to create migration, and a lot of migration tends to create extremism. So what's the fix by knowing that? It's kind of cutting this chain. And then so how you could cut the chain? We have the Climate Peace Corps that trains farmers in drought zones And this training has made resource wars decrease by 50% because by training farmers, you can deem and you have also to provide to him ways to be more efficient in producing the resource, so not creating these regions of drought. And we have predictive trauma healing. There's artificial intelligence that identifies at-risk youth for therapy, has made gang recruitment reduce 60% in El Salvador as an example. So more with that, what we have the game theory, zero sum to win-win. So what's the idea? Party C, no gain in comparison. And then so what's the fix by knowing that? We have the mutual benefit algorithms. The common ground app connects enemy villages for trade. It made the trust increase by 40% in Cyprus. And iterated prisoners dilemma. The peace deals structured in phases with escalating rewards is used in Myanmar. So another one, anti-fragility. Growth through crisis. What's the idea? Societies can emerge stronger post-conflict. So what's the fix? By knowing this is a tendency to happen. We have the trauma to strange ups. The Ukraine's veterans lead disaster response has made the community bonds increase and PTSD decrease. And we have conflict vaccines. The schools simulate crisis, made students resolve fake riots 90% faster in Lebanon. 7. Lindy fact. And Shintoism tends to beat a lot of the modern diplomacy. So what's the idea? Forgetting rituals outlast UN resolutions. What's the fix by knowing it? Revives trust traditions like indigenous talking circles in USA prisons can reduce the violence in like 70%. And restorative justice codes, the New Zealand's Maori High Forums, has made recidivism decrease 80%. Now, the numbers number, another important one. Tribal tribes scale peace. What's the idea? Humans bonds in groups of 150. Beyond that, it tends to hoarding begin. So the hoarding tends to begin. So what's the fix by knowing this? We have the neo-medieval microstates. The Switzerland's cantons has like 150k max, made near zero civil strife, and digital subrations, DIOs for diaspora groups to self-govern, has reduced the ethno-nationalism in Armenian and Azerbaijan. So ideas. By knowing these mental models, you take patterns that you take from history, sociology, by studying it, and then you're most well informed to take actions that can properly solve, and you don't tend to fall in patterns that are already shown that they're not the ones that are positive to adopt. So it's obviously it's something to that mental models they have is they because they are aggregating information that you already have grasped from posterior studies, but as well they are useful to create new ways to act for the future. So they're complete. So obviously we have you can create a lot of mental models. We just have used it 8. But again, repeating is you cannot just like using every one of them. So you're gonna have to select actions, the ones that have more potential. And normally they are the actions that they are a reunion of a lot of what the mental models tends to create. So are a reunion of these mental models to create a one more complete action. So integrated solutions, as example, war to solve to solar pipelines, the Afghan ex-Taliban fighters install solar farms has made jobs more energy for increase for so 500k, and NFT peace bonds, the investors fund reconciliation has made returns tied to violence reduction. Alignment of incentives here seems to be something that tends to solve the majority of the problems when you are able to align incentives. So the process of aligning it is what sweets more harder. But when you reach this point that you align incentives to the system so works toward what you want, is where so you tend to have a more type of sustainable solution if you're able so to have alignment of incentives from that solution to sustain doing by the system. So why these works? We have already examples. The Rwanda post-genocide unit government more JKK courts has made GDP growth 80% yearly, and Nordics, the gender as example, the gender equality has made lowest conflict risk globally. and then also it tends to create ROI, this type of initiatives. So with that much more to say, I'm just thankful that you have been through this video. I hope it was enough, that you have liked enough so to subscribe, to put a like, and I hope to see in other videos these channels about to produce, as well as other ones that they were already uploaded. So with that much more to say, just thank you and see you in the next one.